This is the second of 3 training modules on the foundations of self-determination, a place of my own. In this segment, you will be introduced to the 3 tools of self-determination, which are individual budgets, independent support brokers and coordinators, and fiscal intermediaries. Many of us know how good it feels to come home to a nice place where you can kick off your shoes and relax. But many people with mental illness, developmental disabilities, and seniors have never experienced this kind of freedom. For many years they were locked up and told what to do, where to sleep, and what to eat. After the institutions were permanently shut down in Michigan, people were moved to group homes where there were less people but still not much privacy. More recently, though, people are moving out of institutional group homes and choosing where they want to live and with whom. Many people with the support of friends and family have signed their names on leases and chosen their own roommates, and for the first time in their lives, they choose who can come through the front door. These 3 gentlemen just moved into a brand new accessible home and today are proud homeowners. Johnny was so happy when he signed his lease on his home a few years ago. His mother and stepfather helped him get all of his paperwork together and get everything he needed to make the deal. Moving into his new home with his roommates was one of the happiest days of his life. Mother and daughter team Bessie and Daphne also are proud homeowners in a quiet Detroit neighborhood. They made the choice of where they wanted to live. They picked out the home and took the responsibility to make homeownership a reality in their lives. The main reason these folks succeeded was because they created a plan and stuck to it. This is called a person-centered plan and is mandated by the state of Michigan. This plan allows people to map out their life and set goals on how to get there. Executive Director of the Center for Self-Determination, Tom Nerney, explains.
What they want in their lives might differ and should differ from person to person. And at the same time, and I want to come back to this, precisely because you can't do whatever you please with public dollars, we wanted to begin to hone in on how we could balance the uniqueness of an individual plan with the wise expenditure of public dollars.
Ron just recently moved into a home which he shares with his roommate. He is a very social person and likes to interact with his staff, so having a plan in place that communicates his wants and desires is very important to him, especially when he's having a bad day.
Staff should try to make me wait a while for a cigarette, and it talks about me wanting a simple thing as a cup of coffee in the morning.
Self-determination is organized around a set of principles rather than a set of human service interventions, and there are important tools that must be in place to help achieve a person's life plans. An individual budget. These are the dollars and spending plan used by the person. Independent support coordinator or broker. A trusted ally or friend that will help a person build a meaningful life in the community. Independent fiscal management. A financial service that manages paperwork so payments are prompt and meet regulations. Let's discuss the first tool, the individual budget. The budget is based on an allocated amount of money that the system sets aside for the person to use in setting up and maintaining the support they need to pursue their life plan. Often budgets are used creatively to develop an array of supports to help a person be successful living in their own home. The second tool is the independent support coordinator or broker. This is a trusted ally or friend that will help a person build a meaningful life in the community. These brokers will help a person with linking and coordinating their supports as well as assisting with scheduling staff supports. They work directly for the person who needs the support, meet all basic training and credentialing criteria, and are monitored by the funding agency. Another important self-determination tool is utilizing an independent fiscal manager. This is a company that will help pay the bills, process payroll for employees, and make sure the paperwork and payments are done accurately and on time. They also will meet all funding authority regulations. Independent fiscal managers work directly for the person and the funding authority.
They would always know where their expenditures were. Taxes would be taken care of, Department of Labor issues would be addressed, and the funding authority would get regular reports as well as the person with the disability or the circle and the family. That's one of the most important structural changes that needs to take place within the human service field. And we're now experimenting, all over the country with different kinds of fiscal intermediaries. Everything from folks who are CPAs to credit unions, In a lot of states, typically human service agencies that don't provide services or supports to an individual also operate as fiscal intermediaries, so they have no conflict of interest.
Advocate Andre Robinson has his own individual budget and is very familiar with budgeting and managing money. Pictured here at a training seminar, Robinson travels across the country talking about self-determination and how it works for him.
Overall, it should be modeled for a person individually, instead of the money should be able to follow the person. They should be able to generate income for themselves, and then be able to have self-employment, like I'm currently doing and stuff. I have what is called micro enterprise right now, and I'm learning to. I'm getting ready to turn it into a limited liability corporation, and somebody might choose to actually work for a company. So you can have money just generated any way you want to.
If used correctly, the tools of self-determination, individual budgets, independent support brokers, and fiscal managers can help people across the spectrum of disabilities achieve their life goals. This concludes the second training segment on the foundations of self-determination, A Place of My Own.